right. So everybody count to 3. I'm gonna count everybody off. So I'm about to go first. 1, 2, 3. Jazz.
1, 2, 3.
Juhie.
1, 2, 3.
Perfect. All right.
This is like if the audio and the video ever gets desynced, we can go back to the front of the clip and sync it up properly.
Yeah. All right. All right, let's start our episode. Yo, Salaam nerds! It's me, your boy Neves, aka Watch with Neves, and I'm here with Jazz. What's up, Jazz?
Yo! So you're going with 5 yos now for Salaam nerds, or is it supposed to be 3?
We're collecting yos every time we do an episode. We get one more yo. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're like the Infinity Stones. Once you get like 5, you get 5 yo, then half your audience disappears.
What have you done? You just said 5 yos.
Well, listen. It doesn't matter if our audience disappears because we have a very special guest today. The biggest show in the world right now is Love is Blind, and we got our very own contestant on the show, Juhie. Say hello, Juhie.
Hey guys.
Yay!
What's up?
No, we're so excited to have you, and we're excited to find out what really goes on Love is Blind. So this is going to be exciking.
Yes, break all of your NDAs, break every law, just let it all out here, okay?
Let it all out in this one podcast.
That's right. Fucking NDA.
I have my chai ready. Let's do this.
Yes. We're not gonna spill the tea. We're gonna spill the chai today.
Well played.
Nice,
right?
Nice. So Juhie, come on, tell us a little bit about your experience on Love is Blind, because unfortunately we didn't get to see enough of it.
We did not get to see any of it, which was really surprising.
Right, she was in like
me.
the one scene in the back giving hugs or something, right?
Yes.
I'm literally just hugging every scene.
Right.
Which is funny because all of my friends are like, they watched it back and they were like, you're not a hugger. Like, you don't do this. So how come you don't hug us? Like, where was this person? And I was like, oh man. But here's the thing. Like, so my experience on the show was amazing. And I know not a lot of, my co-contestants can say the same, but for me, it was awesome. I describe it as just like, in one of the interviews I did, I described it as like an emotional vacation. So it's like the first time for me being a mental health therapist, it was the first time I got to be on my own for several days, uninterrupted from the outside world, to just focus on me and focusing on finding connections or building the skills to find connections.
Wait, you're a mental health therapist? I mean, couldn't they have used you on the show?
They didn't show it, but I promise you I was used a lot.
That's why she was hugging everybody. She was a therapist.
Wait, did they just get away from hiring a free therapist? Is that why they brought you on the show?
Honestly, I was like, pay me, bring me back and pay me. I will do this for the next contestants.
Oh my God.
But you put a therapist into an environment where lots of emotions are high. I mean, it's going to bring out that in me, even if I tried not to. I did have a lot of dates where like the guys were like, you're like an amazing therapist. Like, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be your therapist. If like good communication is something you haven't had in previous dates, then no wonder you've been single or you haven't found your person. But these are like basic skills that someone should have when finding a partner, like the ability to communicate or the ability to listen, and to try to understand what your partner is saying or give them space to be able to talk about how they feel. And at the end, like, none of this was shown, but towards the end, like, one of the girls made a comment. She was just like, it's okay. Like, when we all get back, like, you'll be our therapist. And I was like, no. I'm like sobbing. I was like, no, I have enough clients. I don't need any more.
That's so funny.
So the way I saw it was, in my dates, like a lot of the contestants would be like, oh, like you honestly are such a good therapist. Like I really needed this. And to me, I was like, I wasn't even trying to be a therapist, minus Shake. I will say.
We're going to get into that.
Minus that.
Let's talk about you first, but we'll get into that.
I wasn't trying. Yeah, most of the time it wasn't me trying to be a therapist. I was like, listen, like if basic communication, like the ability to understand your partner, the ability to give them space to be heard and to be listened to, or if those things are not in your relationships already, no wonder we're all here single, right? Because those are not things like that come from being a therapist. Like those are qualities you should be practicing to be a good partner. So yeah, I was like, a lot of times I'm like, I'm not trying to be your therapist. Like, I'm trying to find love.
You deserve the bare minimum. You deserve communication.
Yes.
I'm really sad we didn't get to see your love story, but like, what kind of experience did you have there other than, helping everybody else? What was your story?
Yeah, other than like providing hugs when needed. Yeah, so like I had a great experience. I had a wonderful time there. I made some wonderful connections. I made some amazing friends. We're also friends to this day. I learned a lot about myself also. And as I was describing it in an interview I did a couple weeks ago, like for me, it was an emotional vacation because it was the first time I got to be alone for several days without any outside, phone calls, texts, messages, emails. Like you're just by yourself for several days and you get to just focus on finding your connection with somebody or finding, developing the skills to find your connections.
Wow.
Not only that, but then the cast is so incredible. I was surrounded by just the most empowering, uplifting women every single day. So
that's awesome.
You're not even in an environment of like negativity at all.
Yeah, I feel like the negativity doesn't really start until like way, way later. Because the first 2 episodes, man, they were so wholesome. Minus like a few things here and there, right? Shake. Minus a few things here and there. It was very wholesome for the most part. When people got to meet, people got to fall in love. Like I think it was really, really good, and it did feel like everybody was being supportive, even though everyone was going through their own journey and their own stuff, which is very interesting. So who did you have like vibe with, and who did you have connection with? It didn't even have to be romantic, but who were you vibing with?
So I'll be honest, like I was a little worried or skeptical going into it, right? Because I didn't know if I would vibe with anyone. I was like, I've been single for all these years. Am I going to find somebody? Or like quarantine has happened, right? So do I even have the skills to know how to talk to someone? It's been so long. My very first conversation, I remember looking directly at the camera, which you're not supposed to, but you can't help it. Like you're not used to them being there. And I looked right at it and I was like, I'm in trouble. Because he was so amazing. And I'm like, there's 14 more guys.
Yeah.
So I definitely had some good connections. I learned a lot about myself and flaws and good things at the same time.
So the real love was loving ourselves.
And that's actually a phrase I mentioned so many times. So like many, many times I was like, I realized, like, I know this sounds so cheesy.
No, I'm laughing that he made it a joke, but it was actually a really serious thing that you did. Well done, Anib.
As he does. But I literally was like, in your like confessionals, right? I was just like, listen, like, I realized that love is blind, and what I mean by that is the love that you should have for yourself. Like, so many people are so blind to that love that they should truly have for themselves. We're always looking for validation and love in other people. We're always looking to have qualities that other people will like in us without truly looking inwards and saying, hey, what qualities do we have that we like about ourselves, and who are we as people that we can really love ourselves genuinely so that we can feel whole and then share that with someone else.
Wow.
And I was just like, wow.
I'm about to cry.
I mean, I thought I was a shit, but like, I didn't know like I should have loved myself harder.
That's awesome.
And I haven't in the past.
The thing is, like, I think Netflix is like convinced that we just want to see engagements, but I think we want to see more than that. I think we want to see self-love. I think we want to see self-discovery. And maybe we got to drill it in their heads, because there's a lot of stuff that wasn't shown on this show that didn't have to exactly do with the engagement. And I feel like the experiment can be so much more than just marriage. It could be so much more. Yeah, I mean, of course, the premise of the show is like, is love blind? Meaning, are you able to fall in love and commit yourself to a partner you're developing a relationship on based off not seeing them? But I think that's because we're seeing it that way. We're inferring it to be that way. But truly, like, is love blind can mean for ourselves is for a variety of other aspects of our life. And we are just so used to kind of thinking, okay, it's supposed to go this way, because that's what we're seeing. But there was a lot of love going on there between contestants, between the guys with each other, supporting each other, the girls supporting each other, even though we're all trying to talk to the same people. Interesting. Wow. I'd be really curious to see that.
Yeah, we saw none of that on Netflix.
I know we
saw
really
none.
Right.
And I think a lot of reality TV shows don't show those connections. We see it later. We see like girls are still friends and the cast are still friends. But like, I know a lot of us would have loved to see, you know, how these love stories between the cast members develop with the help of the other cast members.
Yeah. And now when like the rumors are coming out and stuff, there's so much more that we're like, what? Somebody else proposed to Natalie? Like the two other people got engaged? It's so like, oh my God, so much stuff is happening. So
yeah,
it's a lot that they could probably make a bonus episode, call it Love is Blind 2.1, and just show us like all Juhie, and we can find out what she's doing. Let's start a petition, Jazz. Jazz loves starting petitions.
Petition number 3, let's go.
when that happened with Natalie, I was actually in the kitchen making butter chicken.
Oh, you got Daisy food?
Believe it or not. I was like, I'm gonna make some butter chicken and I'm gonna make chai, because I was like, I'm gonna make this to present this, you know, for my date. And Deepti and I were both like, all right, let's make this dinner together and have like a double dinner date. And so we're like in the kitchen making butter chicken, and like Natalie comes in and like I drop the spoon and I'm just like, what happened? Because you know, she went through something that was like, holy crap, what just happened? And then, you know, some of the guys were like, we'll have like a chai competition. Like, we'll see if our chai is better than your chai. And so they asked me like, what do you need to make this? They're like, what do you need to make chai? And I was like, okay, I just need like these like specific masala chai bags, and then I'll like add some stuff to it. And the boys, meanwhile, were like, we need tea leaves, we need cardamom, we need like all like the actual spices.
Oh yeah.
And they were like,
cinnamon, the ginger,
they were like,
the star anise, the lavender. Yeah, we know.
So they were like, wait, so you're making a cheater version? And I was like, no, but like, trust me, it's really good. And they couldn't find it, so they just bought me the same spices that the boys had used. And so then you just see like Natalie having, you know, concerns about what's going on with her. But then in the background, you see me and Deepti being like, what the fuck do we do with all of this stuff? It's like, what is this ball? Like, and it's like probably nutmeg or something. It was a whole mess. And then we had a lot of extra butter chicken left over, so we gave it to like the rest of the cast.
Oh, but who won the chai competition? Was it the boys or the girls?
Oh, it was definitely the girl. It was definitely me. Like, 100%.
Okay.
Oh.
But the pot got so burnt, like they had to throw away all of those things. There's nothing we can do to save it.
That's so funny. I like that you got to add a little bit of culture to the show, because like, what reality show has butter chicken?
Right, and like the girls were so excited. They're like, this is like the first like home cooked meal, you know, like that we all got to have together.
Okay, so you're like their therapist and you're their cook. Like, come on, they should have definitely.
It was fun. We took turns.
Oh, you took turns. Okay.
It would have been nice to see. It would have been nice to see like the girls were so great. Like they all shared. Like if the guy got them like dessert or something, like they would bring it in to share with the rest of us.
Nice.
So it was nice. It'd be nice to see like we played some Bollywood music and like.
Okay.
Of course you don't see it, but you know.
Gotcha. Okay, that's
I'm actually
pretty
really
cool.
sad I didn't see any of this. Like, this hurts.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Oh, it's been so cool.
We could have thought some Shah Rukh Khan action going on there with the little like Chaya or some kind of Bollywood music.
Oh yeah. Because a lot of us would have connected to seeing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's awesome.
now I need to know what songs did you play? Like, I am somewhat of a DJ.
I played. Oh man, I have to really think about it, but. I'm pretty sure I played some songs from like the movie Om Shanti Om.
Oh yes.
Like, do you know those? Yeah, I think we played like that soundtrack like while we were cooking.
That's
the whole
awesome.
medley. I love it.
Yeah, and we couldn't really play too much music, so we like sang a lot of songs too. Like Deepti and I would sing songs together.
Wait, does Deepti know Bollywood songs?
Yeah, she totally does.
See, I think the world has like the wrong idea of Deepti, because like there was a lot of talk about like Deepti and Shake's conversation, and I want you to be a part of this too, because you're also Indian, and there's a lot of talk about how they didn't date Indian people and the way they were talking about it, and people are like, oh, they hate their own culture, but like I don't think that's true for Deepti. I feel like Deepti is very in touch with her culture. She just didn't happen to date brown guys, right? Do you agree with that?
Right. So Deepti and I really connected. Like we connected them instantly the moment we met, and we found out we were both not only Indian but from the same like our families are from the same city. Like we're both Hyderabadi Indians.
Oh, wow.
And so we were like, what are the chances? You know, like 2 Hyderabadi girls get casted. And we got to actually connect more because I was so brown and she was more like a mix of like being a little bit more whitewashed with a lot of brown culture in her, but again, not growing up too much around brown people. And I grew up in Texas, not really around a lot of brown people. So I didn't
Which city?
Get close. Houston.
What?
But this is like way back when. Like I know you're like, wait, what? But this is a long time ago when like there weren't that many Desis there. So I understand what she means because I didn't fully understand what it meant to be Indian until I probably got to college and had more Indian friends. But for the most part, like you grow up around a community that's mostly, you know, non-Indian, like then you can't be faulted for finding that kind of individual attractive. So you're not really growing up around other people. But she is very much in tune with her culture. And if you did watch the show, I mean, every outfit she wore, she made sure to represent her Indian culture by having Indian jewelry on.
Spot on.
It's really
so
nice.
We really bonded that way.
I'm glad for that. And Deepti has gotten so much success, and we're really, really happy for her. And the thing is, this is really, really awesome because a lot of people are talking about this, and I'm so glad a lot of people are talking about this. But because of how diverse the cast was in Love is Blind, it's the reason why they're so successful, and it's the reason why their follower numbers are going so up. Because The Bachelor this season, every season The Bachelor gets contestants, and they get a lot of followers. Their followers did not go up super high this year. In fact, Love is Blind had them beat, and and a lot of it is because people are ready for new stories. People are ready for stories of love, of color, and people like diverse stories and stories that involve religion, stories that involve culture. And it's really cool to see that. Is there a shift in reality show right now? And I think Love is Blind is leading the way for that.
Congrats, Juhie.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that's why like Deeps and we had such a strong connection because I brought her closer to a lot of aspects of culture that she had been missing out on, not being around a lot of brown people. So we really connected on culture, and a lot of our conversations, especially when, you know, deciding on Shake or not, you know, were really centered around the same conversations you guys both see them having. Like they've never dated brown people. They've always gone towards white people, and have things not worked out in the past because they've kind of ran away from their culture versus like running towards it. And a lot of our conversations would be around that.
So we talked a little about Deepti. Now let's talk a little bit about Shake, right? So Shake,
she said the name. Yeah, I'm curious now.
So since you brought up the name, let's talk a little bit about little Shake here, right? Shake got into a beef with a DJ friend of mine, and I think the guy made a joke, like, "Oh, he saw him at his concert."
Not me. Not you. I'm not that DJ.
No. Jay Wolf is.
Why? Okay, but like a lot of brown guys are DJs.
Yeah, well, Jack. Why is that? Back to the other DJ. Let's back to Shake. Jay Wolf saw a video of Shake at his concert, and he posted it. And I guess people were in his comments saying he's not that great. And he's like, "Hey, I'm not a Shake apologist. You know, I know he's had his brown card revoked." And Shake replies back, "I never wanted it." So that's a little. He said, "I never wanted a brown card." So he fought back a little bit. What's up with Shake? And you've had conversations with him. You probably had dates with him. What does he really feel about his culture, in your opinion?
I genuinely think that he just hasn't been exposed to it enough to truly fall in love with it and fall in love with the good qualities our culture has, because of course we know there's a lot of bad things. Sure. But I think he has not been around it enough, and I'm not quite sure. I mean, we know that we've seen his mom and dad in episodes, but we don't really see family that much. And I think having family is a huge part of being connected to your culture. And so we don't know what his family life is like. We don't know if they celebrate, you know, a lot of Indian traditions together or holidays together. Like we don't see that. So I'm not too sure, like, you know, what his connection is and why he is so in tune with more of his like non-Indian friends or his non-Indian side to him.
That's really interesting because you brought up a good point about family, and I feel like I feel like at one point or another, we all dealt with this, right? We all got made fun of. We all had to go through this a little bit, and we all dealt with it very differently. And a big reason for me is my cousins were a big part of how I started to love my culture and stuff like that. And the other thing was when I went to college, I fell into this whole dance scene, right? Bollywood dance. And I know you're a Bollywood dance teacher, right? Bollywood dancing was big for me because me and my friends would go to these dance competitions and Bhangra competitions, and we saw so many people just loving our culture, right? We saw white people quoting Bollywood movies. We saw black people doing Bhangra moves, right? It was an amazing thing to see, and I don't think anything has filled me up with so much pride to get me over that hurdle about being so self-conscious about my culture than it was those dance competitions, right? I still have the belt from the dance competition that we used to host.
Yeah, no, you bring up a really good point. So I think a lot of us go through the same exact situation where either we moved here at a young age or we were born here and we grow up being so distant from our culture because it is something that's so stereotyped against and it's not seen as cool. Like we don't really fit in at school. Like I didn't really fit in with the brown crowd because I wasn't brown enough. I didn't really fit in with the non-Desi crowd because I wasn't like American enough. So like kind of was in this like, limbo for so long. And so many of us are because we're so trying to just figure things out as we go along, especially for first, even second gen. Like we're just trying to figure it out. And what group do we belong in? And why do we need to even belong in just one group? But as like an elementary school, high schooler, like that's kind of what our focus is. And it's just fitting in and doing what we need to fit into whatever the cool groups are that we feel like we get excitement from. And I think, again, for me, like it wasn't until I went to college that I became friends with more Indian, Pakistani people and started to go to the dance competitions or go to like Diwali nights or MSA meetings, which is like the Muslim Student Association meetings, but go to these things to learn more about my culture and like the people that come from it and actually feel more confident, accepting and like, you know, valuing the things that make it so amazing. But when you're growing up, you don't go through that. Like a lot of us go through this, like what we call whitewash period, right?
A, B, C, D.
And now I'm like, proud to be brown. Like I will like talk about it all day, but growing up, it wasn't always like that for me.
For the culture.
Yeah. For the culture. That's right. And speaking of, you know, MSA, I got my Fasting in the Furious shirt on right now. Ramadan's coming up. Shout out to halalshirts.com,
yes, it is.
our sponsor. But let's talk about that because Juhie, I think, I might be wrong. I might need to fact check. You may be the first Muslim on a reality TV show, at least on Netflix or national television. Like, I don't know of any other Muslim. You and Haseeb, I guess.
And I think that's true. I think both of us are the first Muslim Americans to be featured on a Netflix or to be a part of a Netflix reality TV show, and that to a dating one. So I know there's like a lot of people being like, "What?
Hey, listen,
those things don't go hand in hand." Listen.
Like you had people there the whole time, so you were not there one-on-one. Shaitan was not in the room with you guys.
I was like, there was literally a wall between me and I can't see
this
them.
Is incredibly halal now that I think about it.
You can't get more halal than that. Well, as long as you don't go on the honeymoon, I think you can keep it pretty halal.
Right. It's so halal, and I was like, many of us, like our parents got married without seeing each other. They saw each other on their wedding day, and then they were like, listen, we're gonna make this work.
You want to tell your story again?
What? I tell Jazz like my parents didn't even know each other when they got married. So like, you know, on reality shows we go like, people are here for the wrong reasons. My mom wanted to come to America, so I was born because of the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
but no, that's
my parents. Like they met each other. They saw each other the day of their wedding.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then my mom was like, "Shit," but she was like, "I already said yes. So I can't. No take backs.
No take backs.
No take backs. Nope."
We're just like, "Aren't you glad you said yes? Like we're here now, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I guess."
I guess. I miss my driver. I miss people having to cook for me.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, why did you come to America? Because I went to India and like, you don't have to do anything. Like there are people to do things for you.
Yeah, that's funny. But how was the experience being the only Muslim with a bunch of these girls? Because I know Shayna got a lot of heat for like how religious she was, and like and people were saying a lot of mean things about her, and which I feel really bad because when if a Christian is like super religious, people assume they're you know, MAGA or hateful and stuff like that, right? And then you're like, you're a Muslim person on this show. How was that with her? Did you guys bond over religion? Did you guys clash over religion, or did you guys not talk about it?
Yeah, so I will say, like, going into it, I wasn't sure what to expect. Who's going to be there? Is there going to be someone like me? And usually, like as we just mentioned, there's never been anyone like me on these shows.
Yeah.
So I was like a little concerned, would I fit in? Because like again, growing up, I didn't really have that many friends. I always struggled with my identity, finding a group to fit in. So like now you're putting me in a place with like 15 girls for so many days, and there's no one I can talk to about it. So I was concerned, but like I said, the girls are so amazing. Shayna was one of the first girls I met, and she and I connected right away. You know, we shared like stories that we have in common. And one of the things that did bring us really close was actually our love and our appreciation for our religions. You know, she's being Christian, I'm being Muslim. We never let it get in the way of our friendship. If anything, it brought us closer.
Wow.
So in times of stress, times of stress and in times of like doubt, we would pray together, you know, or like I would bring my Quran to set and I would open up to like a verse that I really like, and she would bring her Bible to set, and you know, we would talk about those things. And even with like her going through her situation with Kyle, as we all saw, I mean, I remember seeing her and being like, let's just pray about this, and what's meant to happen is going to happen. And that was a phrase used countless times between the girls, like what's meant to be will be, and everything happens for a reason.
That's great.
And we found that verse also in our Quran and Bible to be like, look, I'm not just making it up. It's just something like, it's truly something that's written. And yeah, she was always super supportive to not only me, but to everybody else. And I know we don't get to see that.
Nice. I love that. That's a great story. And the people online being mean to Shayna, y'all need to stop, man. I'm team Shayna.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just team no hate. You know?
Yeah.
The world is filled with so much hate. And I think when it comes to the things we post online about anything, we can do it without being so hateful, because there's enough things to hate out there.
True.
And we don't know what these people's experiences are. We don't know what they're going through. We don't know what we're seeing as the full picture. So
that's
regardless of how bad someone is.
Yeah. It's really interesting. And I think that's one of the things that Shake has an issue with, because it's, you know, he's kind of leaning into some of these things that people are saying about him. And I think it's making it worse. And it makes people feel like, oh, it's okay to hate on him because he's leaning into it. And he's you know, egging people on and making these TikToks or reels and stuff like that. And it's making things worse. And I feel bad because like he is causing hurt to Deepti in doing some of these things, right? And I think that should be, you know, no hate should apply to people outside and also inside the show, a little bit of both.
Agreed. I mean, I think no hate, but then don't do anything either to cause someone pain.
Yeah.
If you, especially if it's something in your control, if you know, like, hey, I'm going to do this and it may hurt someone out there, just don't do it. You know, like believe in good karma and believe in doing the right thing. And I know that he is navigating the situation every day in a different way, and the way that he seems to feel like is the best way to go about things. And I know we all hope for everyone to just fix any flaws that they may have.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think the show being a learning experience and a kind of catalyst to grow and be a better person is some of the best things that could happen with the show like this.
Yeah, because not a lot of people ever go through this in their life.
Yeah.
So they don't. Many of us, we have no previous experience in this, so we don't know how to handle hate when we get it for the first time. And I was not even shown, and I was getting hate.
Yeah.
What? Like,
so Jazz,
I was like,
Jazz, I made a TikTok about Juhie. I was kind of making fun of her. I wasn't hating on you. I was making fun of her because what happened. No, she's not talking about me. She's talking about the comments.
Yeah. I'm talking about other comments, but go ahead.
She was okay with my video. So basically what happened was Juhie's been on the show the entire time, right? That she showed in the intros. But then when she's at Deepti's wedding, they introduced her as Juhie. They introduced Juhie as Deepti's friends.
I remember
Deepti's
that.
friends. I was like, y'all gonna pretend like she wasn't on the show with you guys?
My friends are watching it back, and they were like, "Oh, look, the server." They're gonna be like, "Server, age 28," you know, but they're still not gonna show what your name is. It's like,
so tell us about the wedding. How was the wedding?
The wedding?
No. Let's take a step back. Tell me
really
about the hate.
For a second.
What? Why is anybody hating you?
Yes.
People hate about the dumbest things, right? So some of the people didn't believe that she was Muslim because of her name, which that is ridiculous.
What?
Like, yeah,
I've gotten that my entire life, like, and not even just from like non-brown people, but like I've gotten it from Indian and Pakistani people being like, you have a Hindu name, like you can't be Muslim. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, what? I was like, it's the name of a flower. It literally is the name of a flower.
It's jasmine, right?
It has no religion. Yes, I'm like, it has no religion.
Yeah.
But I've heard that my whole life. So I'm like, okay.
I know.
So I definitely saw that in the comments.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, right? Because if you were on it, somebody would be on the show saying, Muslims shouldn't be on this show, even though you've done nothing wrong, like technically your parents had a more, less halal relationship than like being between a wall.
Mm-hmm. I finally told my parents about it like a couple weeks ago because I did not tell them I had gone.
What? You went on the show without telling parents?
I didn't tell them. I literally was like, bye.
Where did they think you were?
I didn't tell them.
Where did they think you were?
They thought I was here. They thought I was here, and they didn't know I was out filming. It's pretty bad. Like they were like, anytime they would call, like my sister would cover for me.
Oh my god, that's a good sister.
Oh.
Typical.
She's in the
brown siblings. Been there, done that.
She's in the bathroom. She's praying namaz. Like really long rakats over here.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is like a sitcom. This is legit a sitcom.
Yeah.
Like she went on a reality dating show, and then her parents are about to find out she's got the good sister covering for her. Not that you're the bad sister, but like,
kind of.
That is. Yeah. This would be like a halal TV show. This would be so good.
I know. It's like one of those it's like as a brown girl when you like low key sneak out of your parents' home at night because like or like you change into a different outfit before going back in because you don't want them to know what you're wearing, or you tell your boyfriend to like drop you off like 5 blocks before.
You mean your Uber driver?
We all know. We all have either been through it, have done it, or know someone who has. So
I've definitely been an Uber driver in the past.
I have been an Uber driver too.
She's like, "Oh, can I get in the back seat? I don't want anyone to see us in the back seat."
That's the thing, and that's also another thing why I was like, "Hey, I'm going on this," because yes, of course, there are amazing, wonderful like people who've never dated, who've never done this, never done that. But for the majority Muslim American experience, this is what we do. This is normal. We may not speak about it publicly, but we definitely are out there dating or trying to find our person and trying to do it within these boundaries of the community not finding out or our families not finding out. And that in a whole other conversation, right? But I try to like go on here to discuss our experiences as Muslim Americans and what difficulties we have navigating like this world of finding your person without doing the things that we need to do to find our person. It's not that it's impossible to just meet somebody once and then say, hey, let's get married, but that's not the experience for most of us.
No, dating while Muslim, dating while brown, it's quite the conundrum, and hopefully somewhere in the next few years we'll figure it out, right? Whether it's through these apps or whether it's through a reality TV show. Listen, it's about the journey, it's about the destination, and it's about the who, right? What matters is who you marry, not how you met them, right? And that's that's the story that you want to tell, and that's what we want to focus on.
So what I'm hearing, Neve, is Rishta Bros.
Rishta Bros. We're gonna start our own. So yeah, we can start our own Rishta company.
You totally could. There's definitely enough people out there who are still looking to find their person.
Exactly. And listen, I could. You know what? I might just start my own reality TV show just for Muslim, and I got the perfect name for it too. Created in Pairs.
Wait, I love that.
Right.
That is awesome.
And nobody steal this, but even then you can go into like people's like how families and cultures like relate, and then you have the family drama and the meher and like all this stuff. Like we got so much.
What kind of like biryani is being served at this wedding?
Weddings have been called.
There have been weddings called off.
Yes, weddings have been called off because of the biryani.
Yes, and I know this because you're Hyderabadi. Do you put aloo in the biryani?
No.
Yes, okay.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But I'm sorry, but it doesn't belong in biryani. That's like pulao.
Whoa.
I'm gonna say it.
Listen,
shots
potatoes
fired.
belong in everything. Potatoes belong in everything.
I started the fight.
Okay. Peace. Let's do a ceasefire. Ceasefire. All right.
We can. We won't go there. We won't go
Pakistani
there.
versus India beef here. All right. All right.
No,
so,
and that's another thing that like. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I want to.
Oh, I was just gonna say like that reminded me of like again going back to Deepti, like we're both different religions and we both formed such a good friendship based off similarities, not differences, and I think that would have been amazing to have people see.
Yes.
Wedding was great. I know you asked me about the wedding. Wedding was a beautiful ceremony. I mean, we all saw what happened.
Really? What happened? I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, obviously Deepti chose herself, right?
Yes.
She knew she knew she had to make that decision, and she knew that this is what's going to be best for her. Yeah, I mean, we don't see the conversations her and I are having while
so
finally people get to see me, and I'm
that
completely
she was
face.
not going to choose him?
I saw you clapping. when she left.
Yeah, you knew. Like,
I did.
Deepti's
I was like,
friend.
yes, girl. Yes. I mean, I had an idea because her and I, again, we had a lot of discussions, a lot of scenes that we don't see, but we had a lot of discussions about where she was at and what she was thinking about doing. But I truly think she kind of decided in that moment of like leading up to the wedding what she was going to do, and she kind of kept that to herself. She didn't really say like, hey, I'm gonna say no, or this is gonna happen. It's more like, this is the decision I'm trying to make, but I'm really going to decide how to make it and how to say it the day of to him, because they did have a good friendship. And I think she did it in the most graceful and empowering way possible.
She did.
So,
but I don't know if Shake handled it the best way he could have.
No.
Understatement of the decade. No.
And we don't like see this happen, but like my jaw literally just like dropped open as soon as he turned around and was like, hey guys, like let's party. And I was like, all like the dates that we had discussing, like all of our therapy, it all came back to me, and I was like so disappointed in that moment because
he relapsed.
I mean, I was like, you could have just waited like 5 minutes, like let the room just be like, process what happened, like be, a moment of silence, and then we can continue, right? But I also think, again, nobody has ever experienced this before, and none of us have been through that moment to know what we would have actually done. And I genuinely think he, again, was just like, all right, now what do I do? Like, okay, like let's party,
Yeah.
I guess there's nothing else to do at that point.
He went with what he knows best, and that's to party. So it is what it is, I guess. And
yeah.
Anyways, I think that's all the time we have for our episode of Love Is Blind. Juhie, Juhie, thank you so much for joining us. It was an amazing talking to you. I think we had some really great conversations. Where can people find you? What do you want to plug? Where are you? What do people want to know more about you and talk to you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, I mean, people can find me on Instagram. I'm not a huge TikToker yet. I'm not a huge technology person, but you can follow me. It's Juhie F, Juhie F as in Frank, on Instagram. And if you have questions, feel free to message me on there. I'm pretty easygoing, open, and happy to have a conversation. And if you need help, sources for like mental health therapy, anything like that, I'm more than happy to help for that too.
Awesome. And we would like to donate some mental health time to Shake if we can. If there's a GoFundMe that we can add, and then we can use Juhie to pay him off. We can do it.
Quick question. Is it Juhie_F?
Yeah, I think so.
Or is it Juhie Faheem? Because I see two.
It's Juhie_F.
Okay, good.
Oh no, you have a
I don't. I made that account.
Oh, okay.
I made a second account. I know. Someone told me, hey, you need to claim your name before someone else does.
Oh, true,
so that's
true,
that
true.
Okay, that makes sense. I was like, oh, you have
like a fan
fake
account?
Yeah. Or not a fan account, but like somebody faking to be her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I know. No, it happens. That account got hacked, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick to like the account that I normally use.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and thank you everybody for watching us on Salaam Nerds.